Hey there, I'm Jill Allen, and this is Find Your Fierce, the show designed for women to discover your fierce, unlock an unstoppable mindset, build unbreakable courage, and completely transform how you show up every single day. Each week, I will bring ideas, methods, and strategies that will inspire you to step into your greatness and live life on purpose. Let's be fit, fierce, and unstoppable. Hey there, gang. Welcome to Find Your Fierce. I'm Jill Allen, and I'm so excited that you are here with me as we dive into what I always say is going to be another powerful episode. We are talking about how thinking about food all the time is a challenging hurdle for most people who want to lose weight or who are fighting to create a healthy relationship and their body image. And so when you can learn to stop thinking about food all the time, that you are able to step into a place of freedom and balance with your diet and caloric intake. Ultimately, when we stop thinking about food all the time, we are free, more confident, and we have this increased sense of self-trust. And I can bet we all desire that. The challenge of not thinking about food all the time, especially when you have a fitness goal or you're wanting to lose the last 10 pounds or you tend to yo-yo and your nutrition needs to be on point. Ultimately, when we want to control or are trying to manage or to map out this game plan and execute, we end up obsessing and it takes over our thoughts. I can't, or I am bored, or when can I eat next? Is this going to be, going to fit in my macro? I feel I have had every relationship with food. I've had a restrictive one, I have an obsessive one, a fearful one, binging, and a compulsive one. And I have experimented with all kinds of different programs and theories out there. So just putting it out there as a trainer and a fitness coach, don't ever think I have it all together, because I have eaten a bag of chips or a sleeve of Oreos and I've skipped the next 5 meals because I overate the day before, because I get it. And because I get it and I'm aware, I don't have to stay there. We don't have to stay there. But before we go any further, I have to ask, are you needing a speaker for an upcoming event or conference? If so, I am your person. I would love to bring the Find Your Fierce message to your next function. To book your event, message me at jill@jillallencoaching.com. And I love that you are here listening in and spending time with me. So honored that I get to be a part of your day. You're just also amazing. And I thank you for your love and support. I appreciate your feedback, your reviews. And I love that you share this podcast and the Set Free message with your friends and family. So if you could keep on doing that, that would be incredible, because you are helping this movement as it helps reach more women and it impacts more lives. And that is certainly what life is all about. So thank you so much again. Are you ready? I am. So let's dive in. Stick with me. As I mentioned prior in this episode, we're talking about how to stop thinking about food all the time and why we do it in the first place, why we are obsessed with food, what big feelings around food looks like and feels like, and why we get stuck there. One of the reasons for this episode is because one of my clients in her mid-40s, she's healthy, she's fit, but she asked me, why do I still constantly think about food all the time? So we are diving into how to stop thinking about food, why we do it, and what it causes us to do. And then we're going to close out with 8 very practical things you can do right now to stop being controlled by your thoughts about food, to stop allowing food thoughts to take up every single brain cell. So I do want to add this in before we dive in. Know that it is natural to think about your food and nutrition intake. I mean, we need to do check-ins. We need to do self-checks, making sure that we're getting a balance within our diet, that we're getting all our nutrients and, that our gut is working, it's high functioning. If we're getting sloppy with our snacks or drinking enough water, I know I want to fuel my body well, fuel my brain, to take care of my body, that it is truly a gift. And it's my responsibility to take care of it. And so I'm so thankful for what it can do. There's something good to say about when we are conscious of our nutrition and are intentional with our food intake. I just want my thoughts to be healthy when it comes to thinking about food. And what I'm going into today is when we overthink, when we become obsessed and the unhealthy side of things. There's something real about this toxic cycle, and it needs to be talked about. So why are we actually thinking about food all the time? Guys, we buffer. And what I mean by that is that we comfort. I mean, we create a distraction from something going on in our life, a problem, and we overeat and we go to food because of a problem that we cannot control. And I know the instant I would become stressed or my schedule gets packed and in the day felt like if I was ever behind, I would walk straight into the pantry and grab a bag of chips. And then I would get mad, and then I would get disgusted with myself, and then I would start this self-critical piece where I would continually repeat that cycle. I would create this fake problem so that I wouldn't have to face the real problem. So I wouldn't have to deal with what was really going on in my day. It's kind of like this sixth sense. I mean, we have a distorted sense of self-care. We've created these unnecessary rules, fears, restrictions, beliefs that you shouldn't eat certain things or eat a certain way because maybe women just are not able to, or if you are to have that lean and toned body, you can never have that. You know, women maybe can't burn as much as men. I mean, whatever it is that you have heard, grew up with, and the lies that we've been telling ourselves. For example, like we believe that the good life isn't available to us when it comes to food. So it creates these rules or these feelings that the cupcake is bad for you, so you have to go out and run 8 miles. It's like our perspective of food is skewed. And when we believe we have to earn the food, something's off. I know that a lot of you guys aren't going to be able to relate to this. Maybe we are too busy for like basic enjoyment of food and we rush through it. I mean, we're all about convenience these days here in America. I mean, where we eat on the go, when we are distracted, like we're not really paying attention to what we are consuming and putting in our mouth. You know, we don't get the satisfaction of it, right? Our digestion gets jacked up and we miss the actual pleasure of eating. And so we always feel like there's this little it's like this lack of satisfaction, right? We think about our next meal or the next snack, missing out what we're currently eating, and we're not present with the food that we do have right in front of us, if that makes sense. And we are spiritually hungry for more and for more meaning. And so we fill ourselves with food because we want love, we want purpose, we want meaning. And at the end of the day, there is freedom from the hold that we have on food. So what happens when our lives are determined by food? Okay. And I can speak from firsthand experience, and from that of hundreds of women that I've worked with privately over the years. I mean, it's like we're living in this invisible prison, you know, and if our thought is like, if it's over 50% of our thoughts of our day is consumed by food, we are living in, let's get real, we are living in a prison cell that no one can see. I mean, who wants to say that, oh, I think about food all the time and I need help? Okay, not just what you will eat, but thinking about what you just ate, all the calculations. I mean, did I hit within my parameters? Did I get this in? Or, you know, why did I just eat that? All the things. Know that you are not alone. Millions of women think these thoughts. And there's hope. We can flip the script. You can be free. The question is, so what happens when our lives are determined by food? What does that invisible prison look like? Well, it looks like our thoughts that are totally consumed by food. Our joy is conditional, right? If I ate well today, look good, feel good, and everything was in control, then it's a good day. And if not, we label it as a not so good day. Our beauty feels fragile and ever fleeting, right? Between what the world says a body should look like and the outside pressures and the society's definition of beautiful, then we need to eat perfectly, right? Work out so many hours a day, restrict this, eliminate that. And if you can't do this, your beauty would fade, that you're not going to be good enough, not to mention all the self-pressure in addition to the outside influences. Define beauty. Ask yourself what that fear is. Fear of not being loved, not beautiful by the world standards. I mean, what is it? Our fight is not against the calories. Our fight is not against insecurity, not against body image and food. Our fight is against fear. So let's talk about the big feelings. But I got to add this in. You can get out of this prison that is holding you back from being free. And it's hard, But know that a healthy relationship with food, pushing through the fear, doing the heart work is hard, but the freedom is on the other side. So these big feelings around food, what do they look like? I want you to take your situation where you currently are when it comes to food, and I want you to think about this. They look like obsession. It looks like dictatorship over your happiness, that your food dictates your happiness. Guilt. I know I would use guilt to try and make myself better, shame myself into doing things. Pride. Here I was thinking, that I didn't have any pride, but I did because I was unable to admit that I struggled with my relationship with food, right? How can I be a trainer who struggled, knowing all the things, yet still struggling? Guys, that's all pride. And then what happens is we end up staying stuck. It looks like distraction from your calling, disappointment. I mean, how many times I have been disappointed in myself for not being able to control my food. It looks like criticism, being self-critical, the inner bully. Guys, you being your biggest bully. Judgment, judging of others, judging of yourself. I notice like when you get into these food obsessions or a health kick, we begin to notice what everyone else is eating, right? All normal thoughts, but imagine all the things that we could think about when we're not thinking about food and what every little thing others are eating. Like it just takes up so much space. Fear. It looks like, what if I eat too much? Not enough. It's that constant questioning. What if I'm hungry? Maybe I'm not doing enough. Did I overeat? All that fear that comes with the big feelings around food. And what about anxiety? For me, this was a big one. And when it creeps into your life, it takes over. I just recorded an episode on anxiety a few weeks ago. So scroll back on the recent drops and catch that one. But notice that none of these feelings that I just listed are positive. Okay, so what are some things that you can do? There are 8 that I'm going to kind of walk you through. The first 4 are pretty practical. And the final 4 will be a little bit more metaphysical. Okay, so super practically speaking. Number 1, minimize your decision fatigue. We have to pre-decide our snacks, our meals, whatever it is that you're going to be eating the next day. I mean, what can you do the night before so in the morning that you're not making crazy decisions that will require willpower? What will you eat the next day? Prep before bed or prep while making that night's dinner. What will you have for breakfast? Pack those snacks. What is the dinner plan for the family the next night? I mean, just map it out because snacks are key. And so what will be your morning snack or the 3 p.m. snack? But it has to be pre-decided. And if it's not, what's going to happen is you're going to grab the closest and easiest thing to eat when your brain is not fully functioning. And if you think that you're going to walk into your pantry and make a good decision, oh man, I hate to break it to you, you're not. And I speak positive most of the time. Number 2, work with a coach. Work with a therapist to sort through your food relationship. I mean, it takes work. Know that you don't have to do it alone, that you don't need to. You can, but it will take you 10 times longer than if you just had some extra accountability. 3, buy only food that doesn't trigger you. Guys, we all have weaknesses, and when you buy them each week at the grocery, guess what? They're in your house, and that means that you will eat it. I don't buy certain things. I love bags of Snickers, for example. I don't believe, if I'm being honest with you, that 2 little squares is a serving size. So I don't get them. I mean, I want 20 of those things because they're just so good. And I just know that it's not a good choice for me, so I don't buy them. Buy healthy food. Stick to the 80-20 rule, 80% on, 20% off. And I shouldn't even say on and off. 80%, clean eating, 20% life. It's your indulgences. Trying to have a home with the family where there is not this good and bad food, that we just want to focus on the relationship with the food and if that makes sense. But I don't want to set myself up for failure, so I don't buy the things that I know that are going to trigger me. 4, eat more slowly and mindfully. Practice intentional fork placement, use proper plates. Don't eat out of the bag. They're just common, little tiny things that make such a huge difference. Sit down and make an experience out of it. It will be crazy, that you will eat half of what you normally do that you would out of a bag when you put it on a plate. So just take the extra 30 seconds and slow down. And then here's the final 4, more metaphysically speaking. 5, or I should say 1, or we're continuing. But 5, journal daily and train your thoughts to see yourself with like pure eyes, to visualize yourself completely free from the obsession of food. Journaling is key. Jot things down. There's just something about it. 6, treat your body like a temple and with respect, and food will lose its allure. Do I really want kale salad or do I want the cheeseburger? Guys, I don't want to look like necessarily the equal calories. I'm looking, and this is how I flip the script, I'm looking at what will make me feel better during and afterward. How am I going to feel 4 hours from now? Physically, emotionally, right? Because ultimately, food decisions should be based on the benefits it gives your body. And I know that I don't like how like fast food jacks up my body and digestion wise, and the inflammation and the fatigue and my energy level. So I choose not to eat it. So how do you want your body to feel? 7, pray for freedom and put your foot down and determine to walk in peace every day, every day, every day, and refuse to be robbed again. Invite God into this. You can do absolutely anything when you have God walking alongside of you. You can do hard things. And number 8, be on guard for anything that might steal your peace or rattle your heart. So don't dive back into buffering. I want you to be on alert for those red flags, looking for them. What is irritating you? What is it that compounds over time? What will trigger you? Be super aware of what steals your peace. Why are you consumed by these negative thoughts that lead you down the path to overeating, indulging in the food? Okay. We need to be so aware of our emotions, and we need to watch them. Emotions have this ascension quality to them, and if we're not careful, we can find ourselves being tempted to run to old behaviors that don't serve us anymore. And when this happens, I want you to imagine like an old bird cage or a prison cell or a closed box, and tell yourself that you're not getting back in it. Wear a bracelet, have sticky notes to remind yourself of the freedom and the peace that you have that is there for you. I think of a few of my favorite verses as well. 2 Thessalonians 3:16, it says, "Now may the Lord of peace himself give you his peace at all times and in every situation." And then there's Isaiah 26:3, "You will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you." Guys, when I feel my peace rattled, I put my thoughts on God. I don't know how to live any differently at this point, okay? Once you experience that, it's like you want more of it. He gives so much clarity, perspective, love, and peace that you cannot even explain and comprehend. But is that source for healing when it comes to food? Anything for that matter. So I hope this helped you, as I know there are thousands, millions of you struggling with unhealthy relationship with food, and you are not alone, and the coaching and the help is being offered. But before we wrap this up, have you checked out our brand new Instagram page? It's Hike, Live, Explore. And if you want all the ins and outs when it comes to hiking, getting outdoors, any upcoming hiking meetups and adventure challenges, go follow that page. That is Hike, Live, Explore. There is so much happening, and you will not want to miss it as it unfolds. And if you're wanting even more fire in your day, there's so much for you to do so. You can join the Just Breathe Facebook group, follow my personal Instagram page to keep up to date with all that is going on. My new book, Set Fire, is set to release March 27th. So stay connected. And in the meantime, snag a copy of my book, Set Free, on Amazon. Join us in the Fit and Fierce Sisterhood, the upcoming retreats and hiking adventures, or join our Hawaii mission trip team, as we will be serving this June in Kauai. Or if you're wanting to do your own road trip, you could do that too. You can hop in our Sprinter van that sleeps up to 5 and hit the open road. Be sure to go to JillAllenCoaching.com for all updates, and we would love to connect with you, as positive connection is so game-changing. Come back next week as we will talk about how to look at yourself differently. I know you will love it, as it will help and encourage you to up level. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I pray that I filled your heart with joy. If you could let me know before hopping off, that would be incredible. Subscribe, share this episode link on your social media if you felt encouraged or inspired, as we all know someone that can benefit, and I would love it if you would give some feedback and a review as well. Talk with you next time. Be fit, be fierce, be unstoppable. See ya.